What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Knick Central, and today we are going to recap Game 75 of the regular season, where the Knicks lose 109-99 to the Miami Heat. And first of all, I apologize for the fact that I did not cover last game, and second of all, I hope you guys like the new graphics. I decided to change things up and create some new graphics, so this is what we got. We're going to roll with it, but what we're not going to be rolling with and not be excited about is this Knicks effort, or I shouldn't say effort necessarily, because it's not like the lack of effort wasn't there really. It was more so the fact that they just couldn't keep up with the Miami Heat. And this game is easy to recap, to be honest with you, but we're going to do a deeper dive anyway. Before we jump into it, leave a like, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live. Like I said, this recap is very simple, and I could recap this very shortly. The Knicks played a garbage first half. Brunson did not step up at all in the first half. He stepped up in the second half, and I'm very happy with the way he played in the second half, but the first half killed the team. There was not enough. There's just no depth on this team. They're missing Julius Randle. They're missing OG Anunoby, and it's plain and simple. They got beat really badly by Rozier, who was just hitting every single shot it felt like he got, and then Bam was just beating them in the paint. The Knicks were not getting any second chance points at all in this game, pretty much. And on top of that, they weren't really doing well in transition. The Heat's transition game was just dominant in comparison. And another thing I did forget to mention is the fact that the Knicks turned the ball over so much. And it's amazing considering how much they barely even moved the ball. Like, they barely moved the ball, but when they did, anytime they did, it was going out of bounds or it was in the hands of somebody on the Heat. Like, in the fourth quarter, in the crunch time, was it Devo that gave that pass right to Bam? Something like that happened, but regardless, it's unacceptable, the fact that this team's getting little production and it's just not cohesive when they are. Like, Bojan Bogdanovic played his best game. He was probably the most consistent Knick of the entire night. He, of course, gave 16 points, like you guys could see on the graphic, and he only had 1 3, which is another thing that the Knicks struggled with, which was getting shots from downtown. Brunson only going 1 for 6 from downtown. 16.7% total from downtown is just not good enough. And from the field, he went 5 for 18. He just did not have a good enough game, but Bojan did have a good game. He went 6 for 10 from the field, and he played easily his best game of the Knick, or as a Knick. I don't know why I worded it the way I did. He played his best game as a Knick for sure. There are things that piss me off in terms of the defensive side, but that's just the nature of this. When another issue that the Knicks had is their 2 centers just did not play good games, and Mitch has not looked the same since he's returned from injury. And I know he got limited minutes, but he doesn't look the same at all. And anytime he has to go to the line, we know how it goes. And anytime an offensive rebound was right up in front of him, he wouldn't finish it off to get the points, or he wouldn't kick it back to anyone to get points. And it was just hurting them all night long. So Mitchell Robinson, a disappointing game from him yet again. And then Isaiah Hartenstein, who's been very consistent and very good for this team, had a very disappointing game. There was like one moment where he was really dominant in the game. I don't even remember like when it was, to be honest. Like, it might have even been early in the game, but regardless, Hartenstein just didn't have a good enough game at all. Didn't contribute in terms of the points. And then you look at the rebounds in general, not enough rebounds from especially Isaiah Hartenstein. Josh Hart, I thought, had a fine game despite the fact that he didn't contribute much offensively. I thought he was fine in terms of the defensive side. Dante DiVincenzo had a solid game. He was efficient from the field. He was efficient from downtown. Same goes for Deuce McBride. I thought both of them played respectable games, but they just never got it to be cohesive in this game. That's really what it comes down to. And the Miami Heat, they just were efficient in terms of their shooting, especially Rozier, who just, again, was hitting every single thing. I mean, he went 72% from downtown. He went 66% from the field. It's just hard to even keep up with that or compete with that. It really is. And then, like I said, they were just the better team in transition. Anytime the Knicks could get some points in transition, the Heat were already back on defense. And then the second chance points, they only had 7, like I said. Gross. And they didn't get to the line too much. Like, early in the game, the Knicks did a good job of getting to the line, and then later on in the game, they did a good job of getting to the line. But that second quarter, the second quarter is really what I feel hurt this team mostly, to be honest with you. Is Just like they did not play good second quarter at all. I mean, the first quarter too, don't get me wrong. The first quarter was terrible, but I thought the second quarter is really what killed them, because it's weird because they didn't put up that much more points in the first quarter, but it just felt like the offense was worse in the second quarter. And plain simple, if they played like they did in the second half all game, they easily win. And I hate to blame officials, but the officiating was garbage in this game, and that's not the reason they did lose. I want to emphasize that I'm not blaming them for the loss, but the officials were not great at all in this game, if I'm keeping it a buck with you guys. But regardless, there was a lot of other reasons they lost this game, and a lot of it was because of themselves, to be honest with you. They did not do a good job with moving the ball. They really didn't, especially the first half. And like I said, the turnovers killed them. And you do got to give credit to the Heat at the end of the day with their transition game, too. Their transition game, like I've been mentioning, really killed the Knicks in this game. But yeah, it sucks because now they're the 4th seed, and they could easily fall to the 5th seed with the way that they're losing games at will now. I don't know what's going to happen with OG Anunoby at this point. It really feels like he might not even play a game this year. And I know that people are trying to say that they're holding him out for the playoffs, this and that, but something smells funny about all this to me. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just worried in terms of if OG's even going to be on the court come playoff time, or at least be on the court enough for the team, because, you know, Tibbs will just burn him into the ground from game 1, right? So I don't know. All I do know is that this team desperately needs Randall back. Like, Randall could have made a big difference in this game. They really need that, because Precious Achiuwa, he had a big little run there in the 4th quarter, but not enough. It's not enough. Burks does cardio out there. Not that that's really going to make an impact in terms of, you know, Randall and OG's minutes too much, but I'm just saying, like, they do need, obviously, the size and the defense there from Randall and OG. So yeah, because Mitch has just not been the same. Achiuwa hasn't been great. Bogdanovich had a good game, but so like the Knicks were in reach. The Knicks were in reach, and they come up short. I don't know what to say. And you gotta be happy that they clawed their way back in to make it close, but it's still just unfortunate because they're finding ways to lose right now, and it's the wrong time to be finding ways to lose, especially when this part of the schedule, I felt you gotta grab some wins, and the Heat aren't necessarily an easy opponent. Sacramento isn't. Chicago, you should beat them, but a team like this you should be beating, and it's a statement, honestly, to beat a team like this, but they couldn't get the job done. Simple as that. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on this game, and would love to hear from you guys on it. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't. Don't forget to subscribe too. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel next, and I'll see you guys in the next one.